shoot, of course I wore white. I'm like stuck. Ew, 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 ew. Ah!
1 hour later.
Well, I intended for the intro to be about the struggles and frustration about starting editing, but that was a pain in the butt as well. Yeah, I wanted to dedicate this video for people who are just starting out editing, but can also be applied to people who've edited before, on tips that I wish that I knew before I started editing. I started back in 2016. I was lost. I was young. I was like,
what do we even do? How do we approach this?
The first tip that I wish I knew was to not go into it fast and with high expectations. Usually editing, for at least that I've heard of, has been inspired by watching others edit. You go on Instagram, you look up your favorite movie and show, and you find an edit, and you fall in love with it. You fall in love with the concept. So when you start, you kind of have that expectation, like, I want my edit to look like that. So you think about what they're doing, and you research, you know, what transitions they are, or even what a transition is, and you might be a little overwhelmed. You might be like, whoa, 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 what is all this? What does all this mean? You have to take it slow. Editing is complicated. Like, you should see how many buttons, like, especially on After Effects, like, how many buttons are there for you to press? I feel like when I started, I was like looking up how to do this, how to do that. You're not gonna know how to do it, especially if you've never touched editing at all. And sometimes if you're a real beginner, you're gonna have to take a step even back and look up what transitions are, look up what effects are. Like, you have to even go back and be like, what is the basic? Like, how do I open the app? Where can I find it on the App Store? How much does it cost? Like, you might have to steer away from editing. You might have to actually just like go on how the program works first. Now, if you can't find any tutorials out there, the channel right here. Some videos that might help you out. The second thing I wish I knew was to not overdo it with the coloring, because once you figure out how to do those filters and how to do those, like, make the edit a whole different hue, sometimes you might get a little ambitious. At least that's what I did. Like, you want people to know that you know how to do coloring now. I'm like, I can do this. I transformed my edit. When it's like a whole different color, like if you find a blue coloring and you tone it all the way up, it just takes away from the edit. So when you figure out how to do that coloring, make it subtle. I mean, it depends also on like the tone of the edit. I feel like the coloring kind of helps the edit come together. But once you figure out coloring, don't overdo it. It just kind of takes all away. Especially if you don't have coloring, don't overdo it with the filters and the contrast and stuff like that. I don't know. Start small. Don't overshoot it. The third thing I wish I knew, and it's kind of like a mindset thing, is that you can't feel comparison when you're first starting out. Please don't think that in the first week you're going to be doing complex shapes and crazy stuff. Some people do that, but that's not for me. But for some people, a lot of that stuff is very intimidating. Don't compare yourself to editors when you literally just started a month ago, because editing takes years of practice, because it is complicated. So just make sure when you come in, you are open-minded, that your edits aren't gonna be your best, okay? You're gonna look back at them and you're probably gonna laugh at them. You're probably gonna think they were hilarious. Just at the time being, make it because it's fun and you're just experimenting with stuff. The next thing I wish that I knew, big watermarks. Also take it. It's kind of the same thing with the coloring, that doing a big watermark kind of takes away your focus from the edit, because that's what we want to see. We want to see your transitions, your concept, your theme, the ship, all of that. We're focused on the people. That's what we want to see, the people and how you put it together. But if you have this big watermark, if you have this big watermark just in the middle of the screen, big and rainbow, I don't know, crazy, you just get so annoyed. Like, I get it. We don't want people to steal stuff. Like, people steal edits all the time. That's normal. But you could still be safe with a small, subtle watermark. Like for me, I put my watermark on the right corner. I put the opacity a little bit down so it's not completely taking all the attention. I hate putting watermarks. I feel like in my eyes that it ruins it, but I kind of have to do that because I know someone's gonna steal it and I want to have that proof that it's mine. Like, yes, watermarks are important and I definitely think you should not forget those, but find a way to make it subtle. Last tip, I feel like this video is going very fast. Also, I got a swivel chair. Well, actually, I'm using my swivel chair, so I'm gonna make dramatic exits. Final tip is, like, once again, this is just my opinion, but when I see people just pick a random audio to edit with, audio is very crucial. People don't realize, especially when they're making picture edits, that the song also puts the edit together. Like, if you have a sad, depressing song, that voice crack, oh my gosh. If you have a sad song, you want there to be sad pictures associated with it. Like, that's the whole point, is putting it together. Sad pictures, sad audio, sad coloring. I don't know, that's just how I see editing, is just like all being put together. But when you have like happy photos of celebrities or something with a very, like, what if you just played like sad Billie Eilish? Like, think of the song Lovely and then think of it with like someone like smiling. I don't know, it doesn't mix, and so it just like you don't get that same impact. And for me, when I edit, I want people to feel something emotionally with them. I'm so sick, I'm so sorry. Be conscious of what pictures you're putting with what audio, because sometimes also there might be very sexual audios with terrible lyrics and you put like pictures with young children. Keep it themed. I don't know, that's just my take on it. I hope these tips were helpful. Sorry this video was so short. I had a little bit of a dilemma earlier. If you're just beginning editing, just know that this is gonna be a fun journey, and editing is frustrating. It's gonna be hard sometimes. You're gonna wanna smack a wall. It's just how it works. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Time